$19 billion.
Hello, and welcome to John F. Kennedy International Airport here in New York City. Yes, since y'all wanted it, from now on, videos part of our review series will all be voiced over. We start our journey here passing by the American Airlines hangar here outside of Terminal 8. JFK is currently undergoing a renovation that includes the construction of 2 entire new terminals. We will see more of this later on in the video. As we pass by the Korean Air building here, we can see that the logo has already been replaced with the new one. I'm just going to throw this in here, but I feel like that the new logo just doesn't represent Korea as well as the old one did. Here is footage of construction that's going on at Terminal 6, one of the new terminals under construction I mentioned earlier. As we enter Terminal 8 here, we can see many posters regarding this new renovation and expansion project. Terminal 8 is primarily served by American Airlines, as well as other oneworld members such as British Airways and JAL. Here is some footage of the new Terminal 1 expansion. And here she is, November 841 Alpha November, the Boeing 787-9 Dreamliner that will be taking us to Tokyo today. Here's a quick look at the seat. A universal power socket, a remote control that can be ejected with the push of this button, the keyboard on the other side of it, a standard bifold tray table, safety card and in-flight magazine back here, this seat back pocket only had one pocket, which I find kind of annoying. Legroom was average, and they gave us a pillow and a blanket. Here's the view out of the window. Due to the 787's design, there's actually not a window in front of me, and only the one to the side, as you see right here. And standard armrests that I felt were actually a bit too low this time. The blanket was far from clean, with stains and crusty bits here and there, though the pillow was quite nice, honestly. Personal reading lights were up here, and due to the Dreamliner's design again, the vents were back here. It's actually quite rare to see personal air vents on planes these days. The reading light could be turned on through a button on the remote right here. Right before pushback, they handed us headphones. We were soon ready to push back on time. Here's more footage of the new Terminal 6. I just had to get this shot of an SF 747-400 freighter right here. take a look at the IFE on this plane. The touchscreens were okay, a bit insensitive, though the UI was a bit old, I would say, with a lot of the animations being very slow. The movie selection was pretty good, with a lot of new releases and many categories to choose from. American is also the only airline I've seen have their drink menu on their IFE as well. Though once again, sensitivity isn't that great. Some features, however, straight up did not work. I also tried connecting to the Wi-Fi but got this error message. Meal service started off with a hot towel, which is really rare for economy class. And yes, this towel was actually really hot. The meal consisted of a hot dish, 2 salads on the side with dressing, a dessert, a bottle of water, and a bread roll with butter. For the hot dish, I chose the beef and rice over the chicken curry. It was okay, I'd say. This caramel brownie, however, was really good. Great job, American. Cabin lights dimmed shortly after meal service concluded. It's time for the bathroom review. Yeah, this was disgusting. Though it was basically what you would find on a common airliner. The toilet worked fine, there was a diaper changing station, the soap and paper was all stocked up, the water worked fine, and there was a cup dispenser too. I'm keeping the water bottle from lunch to stay hydrated throughout the flight. Somewhere over Alaska, they gave us a snack that consisted of Harvest Snaps, a cold, unappetizing sandwich, and a drink of your choice, which I went for tomato juice here. A few hours later, a smaller meal was served. This consisted of a hot dish and a fruit salad, and a drink of your choice. For the hot dish, I went with the Asian noodles over the scrambled eggs. These noodles were actually surprisingly nice for a US carrier. Soon enough, Japan came into view, and we began our descent down into Tokyo.
seatbelt fastened until the seatbelt sign is turned off. And keep the aisles clear of all carry-on items. Take a moment to check your seat back pocket for any personal items, like tablets and cell phones. When you open the overhead compartments, be careful, as items may have moved in flight. And thank you for choosing American Airlines.
Haneda has these interesting remote jet bridges seen right here. Not sure how often they're used, but let me know if you're boarded through one of these before. As we pull into Haneda Terminal 3, I spot Bravo Kilo Papa uniform, a Cathay Boeing 777-300ER that would take me to Hong Kong later that day. As I was asleep through most of that flight, there will be no review for that, unfortunately. As much as it sucks sitting at the far back of a plane, at least you get a good view of the ground crew unloading your baggage. Alright, and now to summarize this flight. This was honestly a lot better than I expected, and for a US-based carrier, this wasn't that far off from many European or Asian carriers. But we'll still go over a comprehensive and critical rating of each aspect of this flight. Starting with seat comfort, the padding was quite nice and the legroom was average. However, the recline was a bit limited, so this would get a 3 out of 5 stars. Next, onto the service. Getting on board, there was no one greeting us. However, during the flight attendants did do their job adequately, so that would also get a 3 out of 5 stars. Now moving on to the food, this consisted of a mix of some food that was unappetizing, for example that cold sandwich, and some that was really good, for example that brownie. So I would give this an overall average of a 3.5 out of 5 stars. And onto the IFE. The movie selection was pretty decent, and it was pretty clever for them to put the drink menu up, but the sensitivity of the screen and the slowness of some of the animations just could have been better. So this would get a 3 out of 5 stars as well. Now for the punctuality of this flight, we boarded and departed on time, and we actually arrived well before our 2 p.m. scheduled arrival time. So therefore, punctuality gets a perfect 5 out of 5. And finally, onto the pricing of this flight. On Google Flights, this is the best valued direct flight between New York and Tokyo. This flight also sends you straight to Haneda, which is closer to the city center than Narita is. However, looking at non-direct flights, there are cheaper options. So overall, pricing would get a 4 out of 5 stars. This gives American Airlines Flight 167 a total average of 3.6 out of 5 stars. Pretty average for a flight. And just to throw it in there, that landing was a 3 out of 5. Pretty rough, but acceptable. Thanks for watching this review, and we hope to see you guys in the next one aboard our Project 170, the Boeing 747-8i.